This is the Infinite Podcast with me, Ulf and Øystein.
And me, Øystein Rabbe.
Together we go boldly into the unknown to stop World War III and make
world peace. Or world a better place.
Make the world a better place. And we're going to start with everyone else but ourselves. That sounds like a plan.
Yes.
I think I really liked. We went into the fair and we came out the other end with bucket loads of love. Enjoy. World War III, man.
Yes.
We just got into 2020 and all of a sudden it's World War III everyone's talking about. Sounds serious.
Yeah. Actually, I haven't heard anything about it. Who is talking about it?
God, the whole world is talking about it, man, and you haven't. It's all over the news. I don't know. I don't watch the news. I'm just. I read it on the internet. It's a reliable source.
Okay,
I think the thing is that Donald Trump ordered like a drone attack on some Iranian minister, and Iran talks about retaliation, which I believe they maybe did retaliate, and Trump is talking about maybe they have to be careful as he will unleash some sort of hell if they unleash hell, he will unleash hell.
I think I read something. Actually, I did open the newspaper online the other day, and I read something about Trump saying this time is actually serious.
He's serious even.
Yeah. That
sounds disturbing, right? And a lot of people are sort of talking about, prior to the Iraq War, it was sort of like the same build-up.
Okay.
Where talking about this giant threat from a foreign nation, and we need to attack before they attack, and we need to do a preemptive strike to secure peace and order in the galaxy. And parallel to that, there's also this thing in the news about it seems like most of Australia is on fire right now.
Yes, I heard about it.
It's horrible, and most of the I don't know if everyone there are just extinct or just the animals and the plants. But it's 2020 got off to like a rocky start from a news perspective, and we're doomed.
Yeah.
Or are we?
This actually today I listened to Teal Swan's 2020 predictions.
Oh, nice.
And it was kind of horrible. Because it was really I was shocked how negative it was, in the sense that not just negative but I mean, she do talk about it positive as well, but she has this really intense way of talking about the intensity in a really dramatic way. So I was kind of
that's Teal Swan for you. She's always a bit dramatic, right?
Yeah. So it was kind of depressive in a way. But she turns in the last 5 minutes, there's I hope you understood this in a positive way, because I meant it really positive.
And then all was good.
Yeah. No, I don't. But I like Teal Swan, but I was this time I was really shocked how focused it was on the
negative stuff.
Yeah.
Or the bad stuff. I love Teal Swan. I think she's a what's the term? Guardian angel, a protector of our higher self. She seems to be very much in tune and well connected with Source.
Yeah.
As are we. You want to take? Are you ready to take that space, man? You ready to own that?
Maybe.
Now, you know, and I know that 2020 is going to be a super awesome year. You know, and it seems like such a drag that it starts off like with Teals 1 saying it's going to be rough, and the news saying it's going to be World War III, and and half the world is on fire or something like that. So
yeah, I'm gonna check the news while you talk.
Well, the question is like, even though it seems so real, does it make it true? And also, what does exactly what does World War III mean? Because what it sort of brings to our attention is like this. Okay, so I don't know if you remember World War II.
Well,
you've probably seen like a couple of movies about it.
But I've heard about it and I've seen movies about it. Yeah,
and it sort of conjures up this and here is the word. Here is the real word: fear. Now, you know, and I think this is like the key thing to 2020. So we're about to sort of enter into something bigger, right? You feel that?
Yeah.
Like there's something happening in the world. It's not it's not merely physical. It's metaphysical. There's something bigger going on here, and it's sort of manifesting.
It's a bigger shift in a way. Like
there's a huge
not
shift.
New millennia, but it's a new decade. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like a lot of changes comes with just that alone. Like that's just the fact that we're actually entering into a new age.
Yes. And also you can just see how people are daring to speak more truthfully about things. Like they're more connected. I would say we're way more connected to heart than we were like 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's a huge shift, and I say the shift is from the head to the heart. But what does the ego think about change? Does the ego love change?
No.
Unless it's from exchanging $100 bill into coins that you can play the lottery and win a gazillion dollars. Here's the thing. Our ego is scared shitless because it's been found out. The ego has been exposed as not being the master of the operation. And what the ego is doing is desperately trying to get back into control. And our ego's ace at hand is fear and doubts. Because you know, when you check into your heart and you feel, well, we're all connected, we're all one, we're in this together. None of these conflicts make any sense. But when you look at it from the egoic mind, where, well, I'll better be better off than everyone else, because if not, then I've lost the game of life. Well, then we better make sure that we're in control and that everyone else is lesser than us. So,
do you think,
in a sense, like,
no, please continue.
Trump is the embodiment of the ego. You know, like his sort of all his talking about is the physical, is very like he's very in the mind. Like almost totally. It feels like I've never met the guy, and I'm looking forward to meeting him. And I know, like, he's a person just like you and I, but he's very caught up with the mind being the master. And he's fighting really hard to keep control, right? So he needs to push the agenda of there's an enemy. We need to be afraid. We need to be safe, because if not, we'll die. We'll be extinct. We'll be eradicated. Horrible things will happen if we don't stay in control. Now, this is old mind, and I think what this is the true test of our innate wisdom, to the fact that we are greater than the mind, that the mind is but a device, a tool. But this is being challenged right now, right? So fear kicks in, and we're like, oh, what if we're wrong? What if we're just the mind? Then we better be safe, because we don't want to be sorry. And I do find that sort of like compelling currently, that this is like the perfect opportunity to just check in with oneself and see that this build-up is but an illusion. And the moment you give in to the illusion, it becomes real. So the trick is to sort of actually breathe. I found this is the key here, because the breath connects you to source, and it's like life. You breathe in, and you breathe out. It's a very effective means of connecting to the here and now and all that good stuff. And you get all these distractions, right, in life. Some are bigger and some are smaller, and some are on a individual level, and some are on a global scale. So obviously the term world war does seem like the whole world is at war.
But do you think that we're really at a point where it could happen, like that it's going to be a worldwide war?
No. Because this is the thing. There never was a world war. It was just a concept, right? Even though there was a major conflict in the world 70 years ago, where Germany tried to invade, or they didn't try to, they actually very successfully invaded most of Europe, and Spain and Italy and Japan sort of, well, exploited that fact. But thing is that it's sort of like it's just a concept, and then when people sort of feel it to be true, it actually becomes true, like with everything. It's like, oh, the whole world's at war, did you hear? It's like you're looking outside the windows, there's no war here. But the moment everyone sort of gives into that, you start telling your politicians to act, well, we need to get involved with this conflict, we need to support the right side, we need to figure out who's the good guy, who's the bad guy. And look at, like, I find it beautifully played out. So the setup for this conflict as of now is there is a Iranian minister who gets assassinated, who gets killed by a drone. So there's no fair trial. There is no there's no judge. No one has sort of it hasn't been put in front of in a courtroom and sort of we've not looked at any facts. We just get it presented to us. This was a horrible person, and he was going to do horrible things, so we killed him.
Yeah. Then we can do horrible things and kill those horrible guys.
Like, the entire setup leaves who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, in the complete gray area. Like, you know, I've been watching a lot of Star Wars films lately, and I think these films sort of ponder this problem very elegantly at times, at least, where you have this person and he's evil. Does that make it right to kill him? And it's like, but if I don't kill him, he's just going to do more evil stuff. The problem is that that's going to make you as evil as him. But sometimes you'll find yourself in sort of like a pickle, even where, but he's done some horrendous stuff. If I kill him now, he's not going to be able to do horrendous stuff anymore. But you just do something horrendous to stop that from happening. So it's quite the ethical dilemma. And now, in this instance, it's painfully obvious that you can choose which perspective you like, and you can either be like the victim or the oppressor, or you can be the liberator, or you can be the terrorist, and both will be true. Because in this case, America, or the American military force, is assassinating a person on foreign soil. Even if they did it on their own ground, it would still be kind of weird, right? Oh, so we just shot a guy because he's evil. But it's the best of intentions, right?
Yeah.
We want to get rid of all evil. But is that how you get rid of evil?
No, you kind of replicate it. Like the
Suppress
phrase,
it.
like what is the quote again? The road to heaven is paved with to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah.
And I
doesn't
think
work.
that's so cool. Is like Trump can actually have the best of intentions, or he can have the most egotistical of intentions, because they're based on sort of a system where we need to protect ours from others, and we all, like on a deeper level, we all know that's not true. There are no others, but that's on a heart level. In your mind, you know, when you're in traffic and someone cuts ahead of you, does your mind say, "Oh, there's another person who's going somewhere"?
Well, if you've done it over time, you can probably be more peaceful like that, I guess.
Well, I'd argue that the mind would never say that. But the heart would say, "Oh, there's another one just like us." But the mind will say, "Well, fuck you, that's my spot." Because the mind is here to survive.
Yeah.
And the mind is a construct of ours, which we made in order to play this game. And now, when we're playing this game, at times it seems to get a little bit serious. It's when you forget that you're the player. And you're not getting played at all. And you feel like this small insignificant piece that gets completely like fucked over by the system, and then everything is against you, and there's even a war. There's a war about to happen. The thing is that the only way this war will happen is if we sort of build that into a fact. Like if we keep repeating and keep sort of insisting that that's the case, then there will be a war.
Yeah.
We can also just say, well, no, there's not going to be a war. Because we're done with wars.
Yeah.
Because we're at the heart now.
We need to be conscious to be able to do that.
Yes.
And not just follow the blind leaders.
And war
so to
is
speak.
an unconscious decision, right? That sort of goes with the shadow of that you cannot go to war if you're conscious, because who would in their right mind kill themselves in order to make the world a better place? That's only self-hatred and self-love, but that makes that virtually impossible. And I think the reason, like, if we can sort of see the cosmic joke in the fact that this is happening right now, when we're all feeling that we're sort of about to transcend this level of reality, where we're sort of going into a more alive state, where we're more present with each other, and where we see the world as one, not as these separate units that needs to fight over control. And I was living in my mind a very long time, and didn't even I treated my body as separate. And then I realized that I am one, and I connected to that, and that made all the difference. And here's the thing: is that love and care towards ourselves and towards each other will untangle this mess almost instantaneously, like magic. But it's a group effort, and it all starts with ourselves.
Yeah.
But that's hard at times, because it's things tend to get rough, and we tend to get sort of stuck in our own small story, not seeing that we're part of the bigger story as well. So it's like, from one perspective, it seems like this escalating conflict in the outside world has nothing to do with you on the inside world, but it's got everything to do with you.
That's true. I feel kind of stuck in my own story right now, actually.
Yeah, and I think the moment we all admit that we do, that's the first step of getting that stuff out into the open. That's shining a light on stuff.
That's true.
But now we're like keeping it in the dark, right? Because it's Trump, it's Iran, it's everyone else. It's not me. Got nothing to do with that. I got everything to do with that, and I'm gonna put it in the heart space, not in the hate space. That's no growth ever came from the hate space, except the growth of hate, I guess.
Yeah, and kind of to contrast, so that I think we have to experience some contrast, I guess, to kind of realize that we have a heart and want to rather be in the heart.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back to Star Wars again, because I think there again, I know, why haven't you watched? Why? I tell you, my friend, we're gonna watch Star Wars together. We're gonna get into that stuff, because like it's some deep spiritual stuff in there, because like
maybe I'm more ready for it now than before. We'll see.
The whole concept of the Force is that there's this thing connecting everything, and everything is connected to that. Nothing is separate from that. And then you have the Jedi Order, who's sort of trying to live in harmony with that. And then you have the Sith, who's trying to exploit it for power. And the Sith exists primarily out of fear. It's a fear-based world where you want total control, and you want like total like domination, and you want to be the ultimate power in the universe. But you want it because you believe, in a sense, that that's going to make the world a good place, or a smooth place, where nothing bad can happen, because you're in complete control. But everything's fear-based. But so now here's the thing. There's this dude called Anakin Skywalker, who he's incredibly well connected to the Force. Like, so he's as a kid enlightened. Like he just sort of is very present. But he bends into fear of loss, fear of losing the thing he loves the most. And so he turns to the dark side, because he wants to control everything. Which obviously goes awfully wrong, and he loses the thing he loves the most. and is sort of doomed. So he's pure evil. But then his son comes along and says, well, I think there's still good in you, man.
Mm.
And then he's put to the ultimate test where he has to choose between staying with this egoic thought that nothing matters and I don't have to care for anyone but myself, and then I can be in complete control. And then he's sort of, well, maybe there's something bigger than I. And he throws the emperor off the balcony, and it's not a balcony, but you get the point. And he saves his son and sacrifices himself, because there's always love in there. Like no matter how vile and evil you'll portray someone as being, there's always love in there. At the core, there is always love. And we need to sort of realize that the reason all these stories exist all around us, like the reason why the story about Harry Potter, how does Harry Potter defeat Voldemort?
He surrenders.
He surrenders, and he surrenders through love, because Voldemort tries to kill this thing which keeps him from gaining total control with love.
Mm.
And I find that to be so profound, and so it's a deep core truth about our existence, and it's baked into the very fabric of we'll call it popular entertainment.
Mm. Yeah, it's true.
And then we can sort of we can use that for something, like it's a story about us. And the moment you sort of dare to actually, well, let the things that speak to you actually, if you actually listen, you'll see that it's all there for you, and you can actually, well, you can find your home.
Mm.
But it's obviously very easy to just dismiss it. But it's just fiction. It's not real.
But it is.
But I really liked, and I do believe maybe it's either Jordan Peterson or Rob Bell who talked about. I think they talked, or one of them talked about the Bible. Like these stories in the Bible, it's not whether they're true or not. It's they're so condensed by life experience that they're truer than true. Like it goes beyond this fact-based reality that we sort of think that we found ourselves in, because there's something bigger than that. And we're at the breaking point of sort of actually stepping into that space. Like the moment you and I picked up our microphones and started doing this podcast, we started to actually step out of this limited reality, which we thought for our entire life was all there was. And now we find ourselves in this absurd situation where we can actually be in life and talk about life on a incredibly interesting and fun level. And also we can look at things happening in our lives, other people's lives, or on a global scale with a completely different perspective, because we've grown.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And we've connected to our friend, Mr. Hart, Mrs. Hart.
Mr. Hart.
Gender neutral. So I believe it's safe to say that World War III is the war we fight within ourselves, and this is a war that we cannot win. Now, what we can do with wars, and this I know is your favorite word, Rabbe, so I'm going to let you say the word, because you thought this was the word for 2019. It's going to also be a key ingredient to 2020.
Are you sure?
Because last year we prepared But Rabbi, this is the year that we truly, deeply, unconditionally
Fart.
Yeah, I believe we will fart as well. It's
Mr.
unavoidable.
Doesn't the word you're looking for?
No,
No.
it rhymes with
S?
Hollander.
Yeah, I think maybe it's the surrender word.
I believe the word is surrender.
I've heard about it last year.
Now we see when a conflict escalates into more conflicts, we can surrender. And what happens when we surrender is we make ourselves vulnerable.
Yeah.
And what we have forgotten is that it's when we're vulnerable, we're powerful.
Yeah, because then we're actually at our core, center.
Whereas at our core, we're present and we can actually see what's going on. And we're not getting in our own way.
I had a new experience where I was told this. I'm not sure if I can explain it with words in a way that is transferable to someone else.
Well,
but it's like an exercise, a little exercise. And the way it is like, if you, this is an exercise to actually connect with your heart, or to connect with consciousness, you could say, and not be living in your thoughts. And it's a bit complicated, but also very easy. It's like if you imagine everything you can see, like the reality, it doesn't manifest from within you and out. It manifests kind of from outside and in this exercise. So you kind of see that everything kind of comes into reality in a physical sense, and it comes towards you, like from outside to the inside. But simultaneously, you imagine that you are creating yourself from the inside, expanding outwards, so that you kind of use two elements at the same time, kind of merging each other. And in that effect that you have, you expand, but you also increase at the same time, because it's kind of different layers of yourself. But when you kind of dive into that kind of experience where you are both expanding and increasing at the same time,
you're imploding,
imploding, yeah. It creates actually like space that you can kind of go into. It's kind of creating a portal into your own consciousnness.
Oh yeah.
And I had these experiences yesterday also when I've been doing it when I've been just meditating. But yesterday I was also using it when I was actually walking outside in the evening. And I was kind of having this huge sensation that I was going in and out of dimensions in my own experience, because it was like, whoa, I can go different places in a way. It was really hard to explain because it doesn't make sense with words. You have to just experience it. And I used it for a few days before it's really started kicking in, like, wow, this is actually a tool to move my own consciousness. Like, so it's a bit weird to explain. But it brings you into kind of a 0 point in your own space where you can actually navigate yourself in a different way.
It sounds like you found some balance in there.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat.
And it really helped me when I've been stuck in kind of going through things that I can start investing in stories about how it's bad or how it's difficult. If I use that kind of tool, I can go out of that and just come back to center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess there's I'm trying to sort of see if I can explain how I interpreted it, and maybe that sort of will resonate with you, or you'll say, no, that's not what I meant at all. But something about, like, you know, when the world buries you, it's like the physical world sort of overwhelms you.
Yeah.
When you take it all in, right? It's overwhelming. But when you at the same time sort of expand yourself, like your core, you're sort of standing your ground, you're sort of making your position in the whole thing. You sort of balance the thing out, and there's space. Whereas if you're just sort of, well, I'm just an illusion, and I'm just sort of I'm projecting my own reality. Reality doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But if you say I am nothing and reality is everything, then reality has a tendency to sort of crush you. But when you're sort of saying, well, reality is everything, but I'm a part of that everything, you're sort of gaining a momentum in a space.
It's like you're merging yourself with reality in a sense, because you are reality. But
right.
But in that effect, you also create like a space for you to actually be who you are in a way.
You do this through meditation, or
no? It's just like,
how does it work?
I can do it in a meditation, but I also do it right now, like a sense of just.
So, I want to do this well.
Okay.
So,
yeah. So okay.
And the listener as well, of course.
Like, also to the audience, if you close your eyes and you kind of start just take a peek. How does your inner landscape actually look like? Like, where is all your thinking? Maybe it's over your head or at one side of your head. When you're thinking thoughts, they are going around there, over there somewhere. They're kind of everywhere, but they most likely they're kind of from your head and up. There's no thoughts on the floor or somewhere else. You know, they're all going up there, and they can be active. And also, when you try to meditate, you can kind of be stuck up there and try to think about meditation inside of all those thoughts. So that kind of meditation can kind of work a little bit, because it can kind of contain different thoughts, so it gets more space, but it doesn't really work very well in that effect, because you're not really connected to you. So in order to go deeper and connect to who you are, we have to find a way to don't identify ourselves with that part of the space. We have to move down into the body. But right now we can also try first to use this mechanism actually up in your head, because it's the easiest way to start. So if you imagine your head, you kind of visualize your head and the space you have to your head, inside of your head. And then you can also visualize all the reality around your head. And that reality start kind of materializing a bit out, like a meter around your head, and materializing slowly into your head. At the same time, you are materializing in the other direction, like expanding out of your head. And you kind of blend them together so that both those are happening simultaneously. And in that effect, you will realize that you get more space at the same time as reality is kind of drawn towards you in a way. So when you're doing that in your head, it will kind of, something will happen, but maybe not that much yet. But if you just hold that idea, and you can start draw it down to your heart, that whole kind of mechanism that you have created, you can draw it down to your heart, and you can start expanding it again in your heart. And it can also be like, the way I visualize it is like when you go to Google Street View, you have this little guy that you can point towards different places on the street view. That's the way I picture myself when I'm doing this exercise. I see this little guy just expanding inside me, and I see like a map of things imploding into me. And in that feeling, I get some kind of a black space, or like an open space where I can kind of go into. But the trick here is that you cannot think yourself into it. You can only allow yourself to open up that space and allow that to become who you are. There is no way to think yourself into that space. You have to just allow that space to kind of open up within you. And then you can experiment with what it's like to kind of move into that space more, or lean into it, or go out of it. And when I started doing this, I did that exercise like many times, and I started getting some kind of effect. And I also have realized that there's many things can happen inside of that space. There is no rules to what. This is just like a gate to something. It's not like a given effect every time, like the same thing. It can be different things. So just that's a space where you can just experiment and spend time in whenever you have the inspiration for it.
That's nice. Do you remember we went to like a drum circle with the Shamanistic Society of Norway once?
Mm-hmm.
It's a very similar experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me at least.
Yeah.
Where we were just sitting, breathing and listening to some people drumming on drums, like
yeah. So did something happen?
Rhythmically. And then there's sort of like an expansion of you expanding into your surroundings. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. So what did you experience right now?
Well, at first I found it. I really liked the sense that my thoughts are occurring right, like on top of my field of vision. Like you can't really see them, but they're there.
Yeah.
And then I took the elevator down into my heart, and then there was this fun game of sort of the mind trying to sort of wrap its head around the thing, but at the same time it was sort of not accessible. And the feeling of the microphone in my hand melting together with my hand, which was obviously it's a very like big feeling. And then there's this feeling which I before it used to scare me a bit, because there's this feeling of there's something large expanding behind you. It's like in the color I would describe it as dark. And before I felt it was like the empty void of nothingness that was sort of like just always right behind me. And at any point I'd fall in and I'd be lost forever. But now I know it's my tribe. It's my lineage. It's my everything. Like there's like an infinite number of wires just going from outside of me and sort of entering me, which is my experience. And it's a super powerful feeling. Like before it scared the bejesus out of me, because it's like a huge dragon just waiting to eat you. But like I'm the dragon. The dragon is me. You know, you're like in the schoolyard and the bully comes up against you and is like, well, he's gonna knock the shit out of me. But then you realize that there's like you have 1,500 nerdy friends standing right behind you, and he sort of shrinks and becomes very insignificant because you're not alone. And it was just an illusion all the time because you thought you were small and it meant nothing, but that's what scared him, right? That you were so afraid of taking your space. That was good, man.
There's also another layer to it, but I wasn't telling it because I also realized when I first learned this one or saw it, there's also a different layer to it. That the pyramids, and you can you have
I am familiar with the pyramid. It's
if
a
you have like
shape.
2 pyramids with one is turned down, it can do. There's this thing called there's like a star. Is like I think it's called a Merkaba, which is like a moving thing with 2 elements.
Oh.
Like, so you can also use that thing in the center of it to help you visualize it. But it gets complicated in a
like
way
2
to do that on top of it. But it's
turning against each other.
Yeah, I think they're But I also realized that the point of doing that as well can be to also kind of overstimulate your
just
thinking,
to keep the mind busy.
to also get more space to allow, because then you have it. Your visual center has something to do, So I don't know. It's interesting to experience.
That is interesting.
Yeah. But you should try to do it when you walk outside.
That was for both me and the listener, actually.
Yeah.
And yourself. You've already done it, so just keep on doing it.
Yes.
So what should we do about this fear? After dragon eating you alive?
We should come to our center and realize that it's been a fun adventure, but now we can do it differently.
Yeah.
We don't need World War III.
No. We don't need that anymore.
Yeah.
It was fun for a while. And pretty horrible, I guess, from one perspective, but then again, this is the greatest game we ever played.
Yeah.
Until now.
Yeah.
I think we have more fun stuff up our sleeve. But I believe that if we actually choose to, it can be fun on a love level, not so much on the survival egoic level. And we can actually have fun together.
That's true.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
So let's do that. So put down your guns, everyone, and join the party.
All you need is love.
Ba-ba-da-da-da. All you need is love.
Love. Love is all you need.
Who'd write such a ludicrous chorus? All you need is the ego. Da 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 da. Yeah. That's a world of infinite possibilities, my friend.
Yes.
With that infinite love and the heart space.
Yeah.
My good friend, I love you.
I love you too.
My dear listener, love you too.
Yes.
From the bottom of my heart. And now here's the thing about my heart. It's bottomless. Just like yours.
Yes.
I'll let that sink in, and that's going to sink for a while because it's bottomless. It's pretty smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we settled that thing. That's good. You've listened to the Infinite Podcast with me, Ulf Flitty. And be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or Spotify. And also check out our brand new talk show, The Wake Up Show, on Facebook and on YouTube. The Wake Up Show. And if you want to support our show, go to patreon.com/thewakeupshow. Your support really makes a difference. and we're gonna make the greatest show ever. Thank you.